Well, in plastic.
Walking into this place, I didn't expect all of this, but I should have known better. The Camerons and James and their newly acquired friend.
I'm acquired.
You have acquired Stefan.
But no, I definitely did not think it was going to be this big, but apparently you keep telling me that this is the smallest it's going to be.
Well, then we're right near the end of the game.
I remember you guys playing like back at camp with like in a tent with like 5 or 6 of them, and you're just like going across. I'm like, oh, this is Warhammer, okay. And then you walk into this, and it's just like, no, this is evolved Warhammer from the young children now who have money to buy their own stuff.
Pretty much. Back in the day, when we thought as children did.
Thought small. We didn't think big enough. Now we've got our own shack. But I definitely like all the different types of models here and whatnot.
It was bigger last year when we had Mackenzie as well, but
we destroyed him. Anyway.
And he...
Warhammer doesn't make friends.
Warhammer, it's serious business.
Well, listen. Is that enough for you?
Well, I don't know. You want to comment? Oh, I don't know what else you want to say.
I don't know what else to say. There's a lot to say about you guys. You all come together just friends and happy and whatnot with these massive sets, and then leave hucking pieces at each other and about to bottle each other in the face. So they say sports teams get intense, but I'm pretty sure these get a little more intense.
It's going to be a difficult one. We currently don't own a single objective, and they own 4. Actually 5 now.
Yeah, they own them all.
They own them all.
They have all the objectives.
They have all the objectives, and we have none. So.
Oh, did they already do their movement? Oh no, it was just what?
No,
nope, not even done movement yet.
So yeah, like that's gonna be hard to like annihilate everything in one turn and somehow take it all, but I don't think it's possible. But you know. Who knows? The Eldar can pull out some trickery still. You know? Strategic redeployment, just redeploy everything. Because I have that asset, but I can't use it, but... Yeah.
Well, not that you can't use it, just...
Could I?
What?
So yeah, completely forgot that Seer Council of Oathway also gave us strategic redeployment. That'd have been useful last turn to everything that was back there. Could have been here. I've actually done something for us this turn, but...
Okay. We're going into the final turn. This is our last chance to pull something off here. We're stretched pretty thin, I think, but I still think we might be able to pull something off. But it's going to be tense. It's going to be tense. I'm not looking forward to the next shooting phase. But, hey, what can you do? Alright, let's do this. You know what? You know, I know I've said it before, but this right now, at whatever time it is, this is the time to regulate, okay? We've talked about it before, but this is it. Welcome, gentle viewers. Welcome to the midway point through turn 5. We're near the end. If Brenden gets his act together and gets out here anytime in the foreseeable future, it'll be all over. But before that happens, I'm going to describe to you what happened in turn 5. The final Orc, Chaos, Necron, Tyranid, I guess Chaos Demons as well, but none of them made it this far. We had a couple of squads of Hormagots come back over here. Couldn't do much. They were out of synapse range, so they raged and went advancing towards the enemy here. The 2 squads of Knobs that were here, the remains of them, they clambered up the hill. One squad assaulted Shazo Ryla, I believe, and the other squad assaulted the XV9 battlesuit that was up here and the Warwalker. Elsewhere on the table, essentially all the lines advanced, the bikes advanced up the road. Someone actually made use of it Tyranids on this side advanced forward, so did the Necrons, they booked it over here, and the green tide kind of advanced and spread out around this area. In the shooting phase, there wasn't all that much shooting of note, really, because most of our shooting units have been destroyed, and most of our long-range units, well, pretty much all of our long-range units are destroyed. I think we figured it out that with the exception of a couple of missile launchers back here, we don't actually have a unit in our army right now that does not have a range of greater than 36 inches. But hey, whatever. The sorcerer that is continually engaged in the combat over here with the Seer Council, with his good buddy the Lictor supporting him, he tried to cast Warp Time and massively failed and suffered a wound from Perils of the Warp. In the assault phase, this lone orc Nob, who was the survivor of the Truck Boys unit, he assaulted the immobilized Falcon here and managed to prevent it from shooting next turn. Karen the Betrayer and his single surviving comrade from the Maelstrom of Gore assaulted a unit of marker drones and the remnants of the Warp Spider squad right here. Karen hacked down his friend. His friend didn't make it to see combat, but he also killed 2 Warp Spiders. And the marker drones, we tied combat, so the marker drones ran, but the Exarch held, the Warp Spider Exarch, so now him and Karen are involved in a duel to a death. The Lictor took down a couple of Warlocks, but took a couple of wounds instead, and combat was drawn yet again. So the War Boss and Knobs assaulted the Warwalker in the XV9 battlesuit that was here. The battlesuit was killed, but the Warwalker survived and managed to take down a Knob himself by stamping him to death, I guess. Right here, Janus and the smaller of the 2 Knob squads assaulted the Shazo here, but miraculously he managed to survive, because tower nonsense like that. The Deceiver here destroyed one of the turrets in close combat, and the Orc Dreadnought managed to take down the battlesuit that was fleeing from the Endless Swarm. Over here there is a lone stealth team battlesuit which is holding on after the rest of his squad was consumed by the Endless Swarm. Evidently the stealth suit persevered where Canis Wolfborn could not. The Chaos Bike Squad, who this is the longest they have ever survived a game, they're just happy to be here right now. They actually managed to shoot down one of the Tau Remoras. And there's a combat going over here. It looks like there's some Raveners assaulting an XV9 battlesuit. I don't really know what's going on there.
That's currently ongoing. Yeah. They won their combat, and the Gaunts who are fighting there wiped out a squad of Pathfinders, I believe, and have all consolidated around that objective. As well as the Wraiths and the Destroyer Lord wiped out another commander in that area.
One big squad.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there was one last combat here between Mogan Ra, the Lictor, and a squad of Gene Stealers. The Lictor's left, and the Gene Stealers are not. Gene Stealers have taken several casualties, and they were wiped out. But they took a couple of wounds off the Phoenix Lord. He's down to 1 wound, I believe. Yeah. And so that's it for turn 5. We're just, the end is nigh. We're going to see what conniving trickery the Eldar and Tau can come up with. And we're going to go from there. So we'll see you in a bit, if Brenden ever gets back. I actually don't think he's planning on coming back, so. Well, welcome, gentle viewers, to the end of turn 5. It is over. The turn started off quite anxiously. Over on this side we had the Autarch leading his squad of Swooping Hawks. They came down and contested this back objective, which we had thought was safe. There wasn't a whole lot of moving. Several transports from the Tau, both the Tau and the Eldar, they came up and they tank shocked the Tyranids, which were holding this objective, and then they shot them to pieces. There's a Dire Avenger squad here. A lot of small arms fire went at these guys. Took out Carnifex that was there, right? And the whole squad of Gaunts. There was just one lone survivor there. So they were able to do that, take them out, and successfully move in to claim this objective here. Elsewhere in the shooting phase, a lot of fire went at the Necrons all over there, and they were all leveled. There's not a Necron left standing over there. There's not a Necron left standing on the entire board, with the exception of the Deceiver and the 3 pariahs who have decided to join up the Green Tide. One of the Tau Piranhas zipped up the side and was going to claim that objective there. I don't actually think a single gun was fired at the Orks or the Chaos in the entire last phase. It was all at the Tyranids and the Necrons. But we gave moral support, so woo. And the Rune Priest, which was back here, cast Jaws of the World Wolf, and we thought it was over at this point. There's a Rune Priest here, he cast Jaws of the World Wolf. There were 3 Hormagaunts left here, one of which was closest to hold the objective. Hormagaunts have initiative 5, so Shaughn had to make an initiative test to see if the 2 Hormagaunts there were going to live. He needed to roll a 6 to fail, and bam, right down 2 6s. Just the one time you do not want to see a 12. Well, I guess Perils of War, but it was pretty awesome. We'll just say that. In the assault phase, the commander, the Tau commander that was here, was killed by Janus, who was in turn killed by a Space Wolf Rune Priest, who was then killed by the remnants of the Orc Knobs that were there. The Grey Hunter Squad and the Warwalker here were destroyed. Karen the Betrayer finally finished off the Warp Spider Exarch, marking the first time I think he has ever survived to the end of an Apocalypse game, or even a normal game, I'm not sure about that.
2 Phoenix Lords survived. 2
Phoenix Lords survived, yeah, Morgan Ra and a Servant here. The Seer Council finally killed both the Terminator Sorcerer and the Lictor, so they were victorious over there. The stealth team here was wiped out, and the Termagants came forward. But the thing that clinched the game, the thing that prevented the game from being a tie, was the battlesuit that was in combat with the surviving squad of Raveners from the subterranean swarm was wiped out, and the Raveners were able to consolidate 5 inches back and contest this objective and prevent the Piranha from holding it. And that's what decided the game. Raveners. Who knew?
2 points to them. Congratulations on the winner.
Thank you.
I feel dirty.
Oh god.
That was a dick move.
The Ravener?
Yeah.
You want to talk to us about dick moves?
I know, but still.
Oh man.
I guess I'll have to paint. It's a dirty win, but a win.
Yeah, they deserve to be paid.
I don't care.
They single-handedly
Victory.
stopped the game from being tied.
Yeah.
It was just them.
After all these years, the Raveners did something. So, at the end, the Battle of Lost Way was won by the Chaos, Orcs, Tyranids, and Necrons, but only barely. It was close. So we'll have to see next year.
Especially considering at the beginning of our turn, you hold all the objectives.
Yes, yes, it was quite an impressive array of shooting. We held all the objectives at the beginning of their turn, and the Tau and Eldar and Space Wolves just leveled everything within like 6 inches, a 6-inch swath going right through there. It was just all gone. So yeah, fear the wrath of shooting armies. But there we have it. That's this game for the Apocalypse game for 2010. See how it goes next year.
So Brenden, do you want to read
You
through the
should have
script?
seen it during the first turn. It was quite... No, was it turn...